Calling all authors, the Your Book, Your Voice podcast, hosted by Robert A. Lane, is on the air, featuring everything you need to know about narrating your own audiobook. But it doesn't stop there. From special guests, including authors and professionals from the book industry, to sharing tools and techniques needed to be a confident and compelling narrator. The journey starts now. So please welcome your host, Robert A. Lane.
There we go. Welcome to the Your Book, Your Voice podcast. Glad to be here. Always excited to do the podcast live as we do this on LinkedIn and YouTube. It's great. Thank you. We got a great show for you today. This is about doing it yourself, right? Doing it yourself. And we're talking about audiobooks. I'm an audiobook coach and producer. I specialize in helping mainly nonfiction authors take their story, have you narrate your own story as you should, because it's your story. Nobody can tell your story better than you. Nobody. And I tell you, when you narrate your own audiobook, you are preserving the integrity of your author brand and you're putting it out there in your own voice, coming from the source. And that's such a great thing. And of course, the other great thing is that you're leaving your legacy in your own voice for other people to discover you and hear you tell your story the way it's meant to be heard, which is a number one reason why you should be narrating your audiobook. But today's topic, it's DIY audiobook. Is it really possible? Let me just double check a setting here. Looking good. All right, is it really possible? Absolutely. It absolutely is. But in this episode, I want to go through the process. I want to talk to you about what is involved to DIY your audiobook. You can do it yourself, absolutely. But again, it's more than just, let me grab a mic, grab any kind of mic. Maybe I'll just, talk into my phone in notes or, or record it or, and just grab my book and just start reading it and there you go. It's more to it than that, all right? There is a process to creating an audiobook and to do it right and to make it sound professional. Because again, remember, you are an author brand. This is a representation of who you are as an author. Your audiobook is part of your products. Let's say you publish your book and you have an ebook, a paperback, a hardcover. That's great. Now you're adding an audiobook to it. Pretty cool. But again, you can't cut corners. You have to do it right. You have to do it properly. And like I say, it is a process. It is a process. So we're going to talk about the DIY process and how you can do it. You absolutely can do it. So let's talk about first what it takes to create an audiobook, because that's really important. The first thing, of course, is that when you record your audiobook, the first step is setup and preparation. And this is the steps that I take the authors that go through not only the VIP audiobook coaching program, but I'm focusing on the DIY, the do-it-yourself audiobook coaching program, and because that's what we're focused on today's podcast. But again, these are the same processes that I tell the authors to go through and that you will go through when you create your audiobook. Setup and preparation, of course, is super important. As I mentioned earlier, don't skimp out on equipment. You need professional equipment, all right? Don't get that cheapy $100, Yeti mic or whatever mics are out there. Because a lot of those microphones are colored in a sense where they're heavy on the bass or they're heavy on the treble or like they're just not sounding all that great. So getting high quality equipment is really, really important. For those who do enroll in the VIP program, by the way, with the Your Book, Your Voice audiobook coaching program that I teach, I provide them with the professional equipment. I give them $500 worth of equipment and it's theirs to keep. For those of you who do the do-it-yourself program, you have the option of purchasing great equipment. But we'll talk about that later on. The point is, don't skimp out, don't cut corners, because this is, again, a representation of who you are as an author. This is your author brand. You are a brand. You are an entrepreneur. You are creating something incredible. You wrote this great book. You wrote it because you lived it, and now you're going to speak it. You're going to tell people about this wonderful book you wrote, whether it's a memoir or a children's book, or maybe you're a coach or an entrepreneur or a teacher, or maybe you're a poet, right? You need to narrate your own book. So getting great equipment is definitely the first step. The other thing to think about as well is marketing, PR and marketing. What is it that you want to do with your audiobook? How do you want to market it? Where do you want it distributed? Now, of course, you really do need to be on the AAA. That's Audible, Amazon, and Apple. Those are the three distribution platforms that the general public knows, and that's where they go. And I hear this all the time. Oh, wow, you got a book? Oh, right. Can I get it on Audible? They always ask for it by brand name. It's not, oh, do you have an audiobook that I can find somewhere? It's, hey, are you on Audible? Can I go to Amazon and grab your book? Can I listen to your audiobook on Apple Books? Yeah, they ask for it by brand name. So that's why it's important to be on Audible, Amazon, and Apple. Now, whether you want to be exclusive to just those three platforms, or you want to be on other distribution platforms, again, this is why I say have a marketing plan in place, because that'll help you decide when it comes up to the setup and preparation phase. You know, when you go in and you set up your account to be published on Audible, Amazon, and Apple, you need to decide, do you want to be exclusive or non-exclusive? If you want to be on other distribution platforms, a lot of people like to be on Barnes & Noble, or they like to have their their audiobook in libraries or other places that maybe Audible doesn't reach. If that's part of your marketing strategy, definitely do distribution there. But then that will also, that'll be a deciding factor whether you're exclusive or non-exclusive for Audible, Amazon, and Apple. So just things to think about. The other thing in regards to setup and preparation, which is something you really do need to think about, is file management. File management is so important. You don't want to lose your files. You don't want to just start recording and just putting things anywhere and everywhere, and then you're like, oh, where's this chapter? I can't find it. You don't want that to happen. So again, file management is important. Make sure you have specific files for your audiobook, or folders, I should say, where you can put your files in. And what I teach the clients who go through my audiobook coaching program, I teach them a file naming convention, a way to name your files so that it's crystal clear. No confusion as to what that file is, what it represents, whether it's the raw file, whether it's the final mastered file, it's labeled properly and you have no confusion at all. So that's another huge part of the setup and preparation phase. Now, the next thing about doing the DIY audiobook is, of course, how to record, how to do it. And again, your audiobook is done in sections. Each part of your book is a separate audio file. So let's say the first front matter of your book, your opening credits, your introduction, maybe you have a prologue, maybe you have a foreword, maybe you have other material that's in the front of your book, dedication. All these pieces of your book are separate audio files. And then your chapters, let's say you have 30 chapters. Well, that's 30 audio files right there, because you're going to record each one separately, which is really a great way to do it anyway, because you don't feel so overwhelmed of thinking, oh man, do I have to record all these chapters at once? No, you don't have to. You don't have to. So that's some of the technical things that you're going to be doing when you record your audiobook. Now, I do want to also mention about some of the other things that are important, and that is mindset. That is putting yourself in the right frame of mind before you even hit that record button. And you have to really love your voice, appreciate your voice, never say, I hate my voice, I don't like how I sound. No. Unacceptable. Love your voice, because that's part of your author brand, that's part of who you are, right? So love this wonderful sound that comes out of your body. It's awesome. It really is. So appreciate it, all right? Love it and appreciate it. Mindset is key. Who are you talking to? Who are you telling your story to? Have somebody specific in mind when you're telling your story, because what happens is that when you're doing your narration, that allows you to be more conversational. It allows you to be, and this is the most important part, authentic. You got to be your true, authentic self when you narrate your audiobook. So again, very important aspect is the mindset side of it. That's part of who you are. That, again, everything about you. Let's talk about your author brand. What encompasses your author brand? Everything about you. The way you were brought up, your belief systems, your habits, your morals, your values, your personality, your sense of humor, and especially your voice. All of this encompasses your author brand. That's who you are. So being your true authentic self when you narrate your own audiobook is bringing out that uniqueness. This is what allows you to stand out in a crowd. This is what makes you you. This is what makes you unique. This is why people resonate with you as an author, especially if you've written a book. Maybe you're a coach, right? Why do people want to work with you as a coach, whether you're a weight loss coach or a financial coach or a career coach or relationship coach, whatever? Why do they want to work with you? Because they resonate with you. Why do they resonate with you? Because you're being your true authentic self. You're being you. That's what's so important. And that's why, especially for nonfiction, you got to narrate your own audiobook. Again, the reason why you do it is because it's your story. You lived it, you breathed it. It's what you did. Now, there are other narrators out there that can be technically great when it comes to narrating your audiobook, but again, it's still their narration. What if you wrote a book? I had a couple authors, by the way, that shared their cancer survival journey. All right? They lived this experience. No one can tell that story better than them because they lived it. You can get the greatest author or narrator in the world, and it's still their interpretation. How could they experience something that you experience? So they may not interpret and give you a delivery that really matches the emotion that you went through. And that's the other key factor. And this is what makes an audiobook from just being average to fan-frickin-tastic. And that's the intangibles. The intangibles are the things that maybe you can't necessarily physically touch, but you emotionally feel. Your emotion, your energy, your sincerity, your authenticity, all of those things, those intangibles are what takes your audiobook to the next level. And that's what you need to tap into when you're doing your narration. So you need to focus on that. All right. Now, the next phase, of course, of the DIY, if you're going to do the audiobook, if you want to create it yourself, is editing. There's always post-production editing that's involved. You have to do it. And it's more than just, cleaning it up, making sure it sounds good. And one huge piece of advice that I want to share with you if you're going to DIY your audiobook is when you set up your recording space, man, make sure it's a good space. It's quiet. It doesn't sound like you're recording in a bathroom, all right, or some big echoey room. Make sure that you're in a quiet, comfortable space, because that's going to make all the difference in the world when you get to the editing phase. If you have all this echo and reverb, and you're going to be editing on a consumer level program, all right, there's going to be tools that you don't have that are going to be able to, let's say, remove that echo or reverb. If there's too much of it, if it sounds like you're in a bathroom, how are you going to get that out of your audio? On a lot of the consumer level programs that you have, like Audacity and any of these other ones that are out there, there are a lot of things you can do with those programs. And I even have my clients use Audacity, for example, and you will use that in the DIY program. But there are certain things that are limiting because it's a consumer product. So again, make sure your recording space is awesome. All right, you want to sound great, and you don't want it all weird ambient stuff in the background. Okay, so that's really important. Now, the editing phase is super, super important. So for example, let's show you what your audio will look like when you record. Of course, you see there's an audio file there. There are splits of different pieces, and you're going to be cleaning it up. Maybe there's a noise that happens, or maybe a mouth noise, or you hear something in the background. You're going to go in there and you're going to cut all these little things out of there, and you're going to clean it up. What's extremely important when it comes to editing your audiobook is that your audio files meet the exact specifications for publication. That's key. I had a client, an author who came to me. We worked on one of his books. He's written several books, but the book before the one that I worked on, he went to a studio. He recorded his audiobook, and then he uploaded it for publication, and guess what? It got rejected. Audible, Amazon, Apple, they all rejected it because his audio did not meet the exact specifications for publication, and that's super important. So you got to know that. You got to know that when you're doing your editing. And then, of course, the final phase is uploading your audio, uploading it for publication. And you got to make sure that if there is rejection, it'll tell you, like they'll tell you, okay, well, your audio's too hot, or maybe it's the levels are too low, or there's too much noise in the background, or whatever it is. They'll tell you. And you just got to go back and make some adjustments and then re-upload your audio, and then you're good to go. All right. So those are the basic phases of creating your own audiobook. But remember, it is a process. And you can absolutely do it yourself if you have the proper guidance. You really can. This is why I created the Your Book, Your Voice, the Do It Yourself, the DIY program. Because again, with guidance and with the proper tools, you can do this yourself. And again, be accountable. Hold yourself accountable. Okay, when you're doing this, DIY is great because you get to work on it on your own schedule. The Your Book, Your Voice DIY program that I teach and that I offer for authors who want to do it themselves, I designed this as a 6-week program because I want you to get it done. This isn't something that should take years and years and years and years. I'm working with a client, by the way, right now. Love his book. I'm enjoying his book. Now, he started it as DIY. He was doing it himself. And it's a pretty big book, but it's 3 years. He's been working on it for 3 years, and finally he reached out to me and says, you know what? Oh man, I'm done here. You handle it. So he signed up for the VIP program, and I'm glad to do it, and I'm really having a blast working on his book. But again, it doesn't take you 3 years. It'll take you 6 weeks. If you, again, focus and you hold yourself accountable, you can definitely do it. You can absolutely do it. So again, DIY, you absolutely can do it, but remember, it's going to take time, all right? So make sure you carve out time, whether it's an hour a day, 2 hours a day, whatever it is, but hold yourself accountable to that. And when you do that, you will get your audiobook recorded and edited and uploaded in a decent amount of time. Even if it takes, maybe it takes more than 6 weeks, maybe it takes 2 months. That's okay. 8 weeks is fine. However long it takes. Again, DIY is great because you can do it on your own timeline, but don't put it off. Don't procrastinate. You got to hold yourself accountable. Really important. All right. Now, let me just go over a little bit about the Your Book, Your Voice audiobook coaching program, the DIY program. Basically, as I said, I designed this program to be a 6-week program. And I teach you everything from the setup and preparation phase to how to do a great narration, how to be compelling and engaging and conversational, and most importantly, being your true authentic self. And then there are lessons on how to do editing, how to do it correctly, how to clean up your audio, how to make sure that every single audio file that you create for your audiobook is meeting the exact specifications for publication. And then I teach you how to upload your audio, how to get it into ACX, for example. Let me see if I have a graphic here. Here you go. So check this out. This is a graphic for those of you who are seeing this on YouTube and LinkedIn. I got my other graphic in front of me, don't I? That's okay. But anyway, this is just a screenshot of what you see in ACX about how to label your chapters, how to make sure that what you're labeling is how you announce each audio file. There's a process, again, but these are all the things that I teach you in the DIY program. By the way, there is a link in the description here on LinkedIn and YouTube, and the descriptions will be there as well. All the links in all the other podcast platforms that this podcast is being distributed on, so you can grab those as well. And just click on the DIY link and it'll give you more information about the program. But again, it is a process. It is a process to record. Now, another question that I get asked is, wow, how long does it take to actually record an audiobook? Now, I'll give you an example. Okay, let's say you have a book that's 80,000 words. All right, that's about average. That's a book that's maybe, 200 pages, something like that, 200, 250, roughly. Okay, so you have a book that's 80,000 words. Now, on average, you can narrate roughly about 9,300 words per hour. So divide 93 into 80,000 and you get, let me do some math here, like about 8.6 hours. 8.6 hours of actual audiobook time. That's how long your audiobook will be, roughly, all right? So when it comes to recording your audiobook, double that number, right? Give yourself more time. So 8.6, that'd be 6, 17, maybe 18 hours, maybe make it an even 20. Just say, okay, I got 20 hours to record my entire audiobook. And remember, you're not doing this all in one sitting, all right? You're going to be doing this a piece at a time because that's how your audio is created. So it's not as overwhelming as it may seem. It really isn't. But give yourself about 20 hours to record your audiobook. That's fine. Remember, I designed the DIY program to be 6 weeks. So you have 6 weeks to do this, okay? You can do it. You absolutely can. So that's about how long it takes. And again, you double the time because you want to allow for mistakes. Maybe you're making a lot of errors and maybe you're fatigued. Maybe your voice isn't sounding as well as it should. There's a variety of reasons of why it may take that amount of time. Okay, but give yourself that time and don't put pressure on yourself to force yourself to get it done. Okay, that you don't want that weight on your shoulders. That's why the DIY program is great, because you can just DIY, right? Do it on your own time. But again, hold yourself accountable. If you want to hear some samples of what other authors have done who've gone through the audiobook coaching program, you can go to robertlanecoaching.com. My website, if you scroll on that homepage, scroll down, you'll see clips of other authors. Now, they went through the VIP program, but again, it's just an example of how you can sound when you do your audiobook. And you don't have to be a professional speaker, because if you are your true authentic self and you put yourself in the right frame of mind and you tell your story and you will allow yourself to express it and let the emotions flow. Remember those intangibles. That's what makes a great audiobook. Let the emotions flow. All right? If there's the energy and emotion. If you are happy, be happy. If you are talking about some intense experience that you had in your memoir, for example, then just talk about it. And you don't have to force it. You never have to force emotion, because once you do that, then you sound fake. Then you don't sound believable. That's why just sticking to your true authentic self is really the best method. You don't need to sound like a radio DJ person. You don't need to sound like some other narrator. You need to sound like you. That's what allows you to stand out in the crowd. Okay? So check out those clips, and then you can hear it. You can hear how other people did their narration, and they're all fantastic. All right? They really are. So again, the other thing that I want to share with you is, if you have any questions, by the way, with what I do with the Your Book, Your Voice audiobook coaching program, book a call with me. I'd love to hear from you. Again, there are links in the description for booking a call. And most of them are bit.ly links, bit.ly/, right? So to book a call, it's bit.ly/audiobook onboarding. All right. So book a call. I'd love to talk with you. I could give you more information about both the VIP program if you want to work one-on-one with me and have all your editing and uploading and everything done for you. Absolutely. But if you want to DIY it, go for it. Go for it. I spent many, many months crafting a great program so that you have all the tools that you need to do a fantastic audiobook narration. But again, if you have any questions, feel free to book a call. Again, those links are in the description. Oh, and the other thing that I have in the description as well is that I do have an audiobook narration reference guide that I want to share with you. That link again is bit.ly/narration reference guide. Pretty simple. bit.ly/narration reference guide. Grab a copy of that. Got some really cool tools and techniques and things to help you do a great narration. Grab yourself a copy, all right? And that's also on the website as well. You can book a call, you can grab your narration guide, all that stuff is there at robertlanecoaching.com, all right? But again, you do have what it takes to do a great audiobook narration. And I'm a big advocate that all nonfiction authors need to narrate your own audiobook. You need to, because it's your story. No one can tell your story better than you. All right? You are the CEO of you. I love throwing out that catchphrase. You are the CEO of you, which means that the decisions that you make for your author brand, you are an entrepreneur. You are a business. Embrace it. And that's a wonderful thing, and it's a great thing to be proud of. It's a great thing to be proud of who you are as an author because you worked hard to achieve that. Love entrepreneurship. It's a great thing. But also never cut corners because your product, which is your ebook, your paperback, your hardcover, and especially your audiobook, these are your products, all right? Your products represent who you are as an author. So never cut corners. All right, never cut corners. All right, my friends, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Go to robertlanecoaching.com and you can shoot me a message. There's a lot of information up there as well. I'll throw the little scroll there again for those of you who are watching the video portion of the podcast. Again, all the links for everything that I talk about on the podcast is in the description. Okay, so check it out. And I do have one last assignment for you, and I do this after every podcast, every coffee chat. Oh, coffee chat. I almost forgot. Let me share that with you before I forget. I do this every Thursday morning or afternoon, depending where you are, at 9:30 a.m. Pacific time. That's 12:30 p.m. Eastern every Thursday on my Robert Lane Coaching YouTube channel, on LinkedIn Live, and also on my Instagram, which is also Robert Lane Coaching. I do a coffee chat. It's open forum. If you have anything you want to talk about the audiobook world, come on in, right? Grab your cup of joe and let's have a chat, right? So tomorrow's episode is going to be Best Audiobook Narrator. The golden mic winner is, and then you got to tune in to find out. So coffee chat is there. I do archive the coffee chat on the Robert Lane Coaching YouTube channel anyway, in case you miss it, but check that out. All right, so now my final assignment to you is this. When you're out and about in the world, my friends, smile at a stranger, all right? Say hello. Maybe give them a compliment because that small gesture of kindness can make all the difference in somebody's life. So be a life changer. I mean, think about it. We all wear a mask. How you doing? Oh, I'm doing great. But maybe inside, there's a lot of people out there. And we know this. So there's a lot of people who are hurting inside. And just that small act of kindness, a smile, a hello, a compliment, takes less than 5 seconds to do. You can make the world a difference in somebody's life. And that's really important. So be a life changer, all right? Be a life changer. All right, my friends, this is the Your Book, Your Voice podcast. I do appreciate you for tuning in and enjoying the show. And again, reach out to me. There's plenty of places on the Robert Lane Coaching website to book a call with me, to grab your free narration reference guide. Love to hear from you. And again, I'm proud of you for being an author. You're doing something creative and you're putting yourself out there. And when you turn your book into an audiobook, especially whether you do it VIP or if you do the do-it-yourself program, you're doing it. And you're solidifying your legacy in your own voice for generations to come. That's pretty awesome. Have a great week, my friends. We'll be back, of course, at this time next week. Again, if there's any topics you'd like me to cover regarding the audiobook world, or if you are an author and you're interested on maybe becoming a guest on the show, I do have guests, reach out to me. Love to hear from you. Have a great day, my friends. You take care, and we'll be talking to you soon.
This has been Your Book, Your Voice with host Robert A. Lane. Tune in each week for another powerful and informative episode. And remember, only you can narrate your story the way it's meant to be heard.